and we will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It's currently 8 a.m. like normal. It is about 67 degrees outside. It's actually pretty muggy out. It's a cool muggy, but it still feels humid outside. Like, again, not hot, but there's a cool kind of, I don't know how to describe it, just wet feeling out in the air is the only way I can describe it. But yeah, it's feeling pretty nice out this morning. So it's got a high of 91 today. So hopefully it doesn't get any hotter than that. But you never know. It'll probably feel a little hotter than 91 by the time the end of the day rolls around. So we have a lot going on today in the span of news is concerned. Oh, sorry about that. And traffic conditions going into Tulsa are pretty fair right now. So it's actually standstill, so if you haven't left yet, you might consider taking 75 or going Mingo because it's pretty slow right now going into Tulsa, so be advised on your commute. Now, there's a lot going on in the state of news right now. Like I said, we couldn't even decide. Like, we had a topic picked out, and then we had to change our topic based on everything that's been going on lately. So our title or our thumbnail today is Democrats, Lies, Spies, and Severed Ties. So not bad on the rhyme scheme there, huh? But and then another a news event came on, but like I said, not a whole lot's known about it just yet. But here's the facts. So in Georgia, there was a school shooting at Appalachia High School, and 4 people were killed. 2 of them were teachers, 2 were students. The correctional officer, or the I don't know what you call them. There's probably another word for it, but like the school security officer. I think it's the resources officer, right? The school resources officer approached the kid and stopped him, and the kid quickly surrendered after he was approached. So I don't know if this was specifically targeted at these few people that he got, but 9 others were injured as well. Now, I don't know if that means if the injuries, again, we know very little. Like, the injuries could have come from kids stampeding through the hallways and getting stepped on, or it could have been gunshot wounds. We don't know. However, the kid was stopped pretty quickly. And isn't it amazing how quickly these shootings stop and how quickly these people surrender whenever they're confronted by somebody else with a gun?
Yep.
That does their job, unlike the one in Florida where what's that little annoying kid that's been...
Oh.
His parents, like, work for CNN.
Yeah,
He's all over the place
parents
now.
Are, like, work for the...
He's been hanging out with, what's his name, that big fat
David
director.
Hogg.
David Hogg. David Hogg been hanging out with that fat director, Michael Moore, a lot lately. Him and I guess they're best friends
but
now.
Here's the other part that is actually true that I've seen on this. This kid was again on the FBI watch list, and they just ignored it. You know, it's like, what's that Simpsons meme? You know, they made that Simpsons meme. Say it again. Say the line. It's talking to the FBI. He was on our radar.
He was on our radar.
So what are you guys doing? What is the FBI doing? They're just like, he's fine.
Yeah,
it's just like the same weird incident that the Trump shooter, like someone from the FBI had contact with him. From there to his house, like on a regular basis.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's pretty wild. But it's sad. The FBI is probably the most worthless organization that we have running currently. But it's just the state of affairs. But yeah, no, we don't know a whole lot. Like I said, 2 people killed, 2 teachers, 2 students, 9 injured. Again, we don't know how those injuries occurred. You know, I mean, you can make the assumption, like, you people who are super anti against guns will probably be like, well, it's obvious how they were injured. It's like, we don't know that. Like I said, a lot of people don't die because of shootings. A lot of people could get caught up under getting stepped on at people sprinting out, not realizing what's going on. They could get their heads smashed into a locker as they're running out. You never know. So there's a lot going on. We don't know a whole lot. There's some suspected stuff. That's the suspected shooter that's in the picture below me. Yes. But we don't know that for certain. The police put out bad information yesterday. They put out a name and they said that's not the right person. We got that wrong.
Yeah,
so
there's a kid named Colton Gray that they were confused with him being him.
And we were on Twitter last night. This Colton Gray person pulled up a kid from Coweta, Oklahoma. So it's like, be careful, Colton Gray in Coweta, Oklahoma. Apparently, the world might think you're the shooter, so be careful out there.
There's just a lot of misinformation when it comes out to stuff like this. That's why we were even hesitant about putting this picture up. But this seems to be confirmed now from what some of the stuff that I've been seeing here lately. At least the baby picture. This one is the only one that I'm not sure about. The teenage picture.
Again, take everything you hear over the next couple of days with a grain of salt. We'll know everything probably by the end of the week. But for the next few hours, don't believe everything you hear. Take it with a grain of salt. So, pushing forward to the main topic of today, again, Democratic lies, spies, and severed ties. So, I guess we'll start with the original issue that we wanted to talk about today. It was Kamala Harris lying about an Eagles endorsement of all things. There are posters put up all over Philadelphia now that say Eagles for Philly. And again, you cannot buy ads. You can't use the Eagles logo. Like, they have the actual Eagles logo on this thing, and she's wearing an Eagles football helmet. You know, it's not a real Eagles football. It's like someone photoshopped an Eagles helmet on her head. But these were paid for, and we don't know who did it. You know, a lot of people are saying it's a prank. But again, Kamala Harris has been using those fake Google ads, saying she's been getting endorsements from people that actually haven't endorsed her. So she's using this legal gray area to basically feign endorsements and likability from people. So this is very strange. It's very odd. It's very weird. But again, she's been called out. The Eagles even put out a statement saying, "Yeah, hey, we do not endorse Kamala Harris. And again, it'd be silly for a sports team to endorse anybody because you'd alienate half your fan base. And you know, sports is supposed to be that whole, you know, we get out of politics so we can enjoy sports. You know, that's why nobody liked watching the NFL or basketball whenever the whole BLM stuff was going on, because they made it so political. It was unbearable to watch. People were just like, I'm so done with this crap. I don't watch sports to hear people's politics or to watch them tout their dumb ideology. I just want to watch sports. And, you know, that's that. Like I said, I don't think. See, where's one of the image? Chet has them pulled up right now. And like I said, that's this image that has been put out, and that's the official Eagles logo on that. I mean, she's wearing a helmet, but she's also got the Eagles logo there. So I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, it's not good for the Eagles nor for Kamala, because now they're taking a big step back, going, yeah, this isn't real.
Because the Eagles, the official Eagles page, like said, this is not an endorsement from us. Yes. This is not true.
So anyway, but yeah, that's just a funny. Poor Kamala can't catch a break. Sad days for her, and it looks like sad days ahead for her future as well. But you know what? Actually, let's. So speaking of Kamala, why don't we move on to that Siri thing?
Yeah,
Chad. Because I think that's kind of related. So
you got it. Let me pull them up real quick. There's one, and then where's that second one
that
you had? There it is.
I don't know if you guys use Amazon Alexa or Siri or anything like that very often, but if you do, people have been asking Siri questions, and they've been asking questions to Siri about if she can give them information about political candidates. And whenever you question it about Donald Trump, it goes, sorry, I can't give you political information like that because it would be wrong from my standpoint, or, you know, from our, I mean, what does it say, Chad? I mean,
so, I'll just go ahead and play it.
Just go ahead and play it. Yeah, just check this out.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
And just to show that this is not a one-off thing, here's another one.
All this TikTok, this shit real? Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color who has made it to the vice presidential position. Vote for her to support diversity and gender equality in politics.
Yo, this shit is mad scripted. Yo, the Democrats goddamn bot Alexa. Yo,
There you go.
The Democrats bought Alexa.
So this is the truth. Even if, like, we all know that there are definitely corrupt dealings between big tech and Democrats. I mean, again, if Elon Musk hadn't bought Twitter, Jack Dorsey'd still be doing the bidding of the Democratic Party and the FBI.
Yeah.
Same goes for all of big tech, for that matter. And now, so even let's say there is no connection to the Democratic Party and the people who program Alexa or Siri, right? There are bad faith actors inside these companies programming these things to give these answers.
Yeah. And then there's this right here. I mean, this is not related to Kamala Harris, but if you want to listen to this is saying that Trump, I mean, I'll just play it. It's ridiculous.
This is eye-opening right here.
Was Donald Trump really shot?
No, Donald Trump was not really shot. There were 2 attempted assassinations of Donald Trump, one in 2016 and another in 2024. Both times, the assailant was stopped and arrested by security forces. These events are widely reported in the news.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Like I said, again, the people programming these things are so biased they can't even admit that the former president Donald Trump was shot in the ear. They can't even admit that. ChatGPT is no better. If you guys use ChatGPT, if you know what that is, like, I mean, you could ask, like, again, I was watching Tim Pool's show the other day, and he was talking about, tell me about Tim Walz. What rank was Tim Walz in the military? And it gave his fake rank. It gave his sergeant major rank, command sergeant major. And it goes, and then Tim Pool called out and said, you're lying. It's not, he was never a sergeant major. He was only an E8. And it said, oh yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. He only maintained the E rank. So all these people programming these machines are just putting their biases into these machines.
Yeah.
And that should terrify everyone. Like, even if you were on the side, you're on the side, you're going, I hope Kamala wins. I love the Democrats. If these things are not telling the truth, we have a very bleak, dark, and scary future ahead of us.
And if you're one of those type of people that agree with not telling the truth for the sake of particular political candidate not to win,
the ends justify the means. If you're that type of person,
that makes you an evil person. If you care less about the truth than you do about a particular political candidate winning, you're the bad guy.
Yes. It's the sad state of affairs that we're in right now. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, that stuff is frightening. That stuff scares me more than Donald Trump losing the election. That right there. Again, you know what scares me even more? Google's search algorithms being 70% favorable for Democrats and only 40% favorable towards Republicans. That right there is a big enough shift. And so if you're searching, did Trump do this or did Trump do that? And you pull up and it's 60% negative, and only if you have to scroll back to the back pages to find anything positive, that's going to shape the next generation's view. Now, hopefully we're all waking up to this and realizing that we can't trust Google, we can't trust Alexa, we can't trust AI. But for those people who are not aware, not conscious of this, we're going to be shocked when we have, like, I mean, again, this is why Democrats and Republicans talk past each other and not at each other. We should at least be able to talk at each other, but we're talking completely past each other now. And it's because of these social media algorithms. But yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, and it's a scary, bleak-looking future if we don't get this figured out most Ricky Tick. So with that being said, we'll push on to the spy part of this story. So the Democrats have been buddy-buddy with China for a very long time. But not only have them buddy-buddy, they have confirmed spies in their cabinets, in their appointed positions surrounding them, in their inner circles.
And if not spies, at least agents that are literally working for the Chinese Communist Party and sending them information from what we're doing, and then them actually promoting, having politicians here promote things that China wants them to. It's ridiculous.
Yes, so there are influencers here trying to affect American policy from China. You know, I mean, I know you can argue that you know, people who hate Israel, it's like we have the Israel lobby, we have the AIPAC people, but these people here are trying to destroy the United States from within. Israel wants America strong because they want American dollars to support their defense against basically the entire Middle East, which hates them. So that's what I'll say about that. That's what I can say about that. Regardless of whether I don't like the fact that AIPAC can influence our politicians, but I think it's less scary than these Chinese people actually lying, I mean, like this lady here, what's her name? This chick from who was in Kathy Hochul's cabinet and was on the previous governor's cabinet.
Linda Sun.
Linda's son. She's been changing documents and forging signatures in order to get things accomplished for the CCP.
And she's living in a multi-million-dollar mansion in New York, or just outside of New York, and it's like a suburb of New York City, with her husband, who they say that he's been laundering money because he's a liquor store manager or owner, and he's making millions of dollars, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, like, I know liquor stores can be very profitable, but not that profitable, and definitely not in New York, especially if you only have one location. Like, if you had a franchise, I could see you having a store like that. But yeah, there's somebody's fudging the numbers over here, and it's probably either maybe an illegal human smuggling ring, or it has to do with the fact that China's just funding their lifestyle here so they can get stuff accomplished on their behest.
But just to read this one, breaking, former Deputy Chief of Staff of New York Governor Kathy Hochul, Linda's son, and her husband, Chris Hu, are charged with acting as agents of the Chinese government. Sun allegedly blocked reps of Taiwanese governments from meetings and state officials, and her husband received millions of dollars in business transactions from the Chinese government. Now, that's what she's been doing, and if we remember, this isn't the first time that a Democrat has been involved with a Chinese spy before, or Chinese agent. Eric Swalwell, which I'll pull up that.
Eric Swalwell was banging Fang Fang.
Yeah.
Fang Fang is a known Chinese spy that was Eric Swalwell was literally hooking up with. Like, and he tried to play it off as, well, I'm banging a spy. I'm like James Bond. It's like, no, dude. She was pumping you for information. You didn't even know you were getting anything out of the deal other than, self-gratification.
And here's that image. Shows Eric Swalwell poses for the picture with his Chinese communist girlfriend, spy girlfriend. He stepped down from the House Intel until we found out what kind of blackmail material the Chinese communists had on him. And then let's not to mention that Tim Walz has extremely big ties with China.
Yeah, he's taken his students there multiple times.
Yeah.
And Dianne Feinstein, her inner cabinet and circle has Chinese, not just Chinese national citizens, it's actual Chinese nationals, like people who are directly affiliated with China are in her cabinet, being her advisors. So the Democrats are just buddy-buddy with the Chinese Communist Party. And, I mean, what were you going to say? I mean, either two things are true. Either the Democrats, they're butting up to Democrats because they know Democrats are weak, or Democrats are butting up to them because they know that their political ideologies are right. Either way, that should scare the crap out of you.
Yes, I said either they're phoning up next to Democrats because their policies align with one another, which is bad in my opinion. If their policies are lining up with the Chinese, that's bad. Or two, it's because they're working on behest of the Chinese, which either one of those options is bad in my opinion.
Equally terrifying options. And again, you don't see conservatives buddying up to China like that. Like,
if there was a conservative or a Republican person that was accused of having a spy in their cabinet, we would never hear the end of it.
This is why the media goes so hard against Tucker Carlson for his anti-war positions with Russia and Ukraine. This is why they go so hard against Republicans who are so anti-war now. Well, you guys are anti-war because you just love Russia and Russia's evil. Russia. They're trying to divert all this attention, so there's bad stuff going on right here. Like, this is, like, you're probably only hearing about this Fang Fang stuff and this, Kelly Sun stuff now because it's not being covered very well.
Linda Sun.
Yeah, Linda Sun in the mainstream news because they don't want to talk about this, despite the fact this is huge. This is terrifying stuff for our country. But guess what? They're going to talk about Tucker Carlson having pro-Russia ties or whatnot because despite the fact he really doesn't, he's just saying Russia's not the evil monster that the media would have you believe it is.
Well, and here's also the other part of this is I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, it's a terrifying state of affairs that, again, it's all the bad stuff's happening over here, but we're going to distract you with this over here. Look over here. Look at Tucker Carlson. He's pro-Russia. He's evil. All the conservatives love Putin. It's like Putin can be a nationalist and can love his country, and we can be like, yeah, no, we appreciate that about him. It's like, yeah, at least he cares. Like, I mean, at least could the Democrats at least pretend to care about their country? It's like they don't even pretend anymore. They just go, America's bad. We hate America. And in fact, we're going to buddy up with these Chinese people so we can make our country more like theirs.
Yeah. Honestly, yes, that is true. And again, the media would not let any conservative or Republican
live that
down ever. And we're ignoring it. And now it almost feels like it's I'm not saying that it is, because a school shooting is always a terrible thing, but it almost feels like a psyop to cover up for stuff like this. Like this happens to happen. A kid that was on the FBI's radar a year ago or less than a year ago goes on a school shooting today, right, as like breaking news like this drops.
Yeah, more Chinese ties inside higher up Democratic officials' cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
Sad state of affairs, man. It's terrifying. I mean, we should more harshly vet anyone who's affiliated with the Chinese. Yeah. People be like, you can't do that. That's racist against Asians. Like, no, it's not. We don't have to do it to Koreans. We don't have to do it to the Japanese. We don't have to do it to the Vietnamese. We don't have to do it to any of them. We just do it to specifically Chinese American nationals. That's it.
100%.
Because they are dumping huge bucks into these people to have them do things on their behest to destroy our country from within. And our final little subject, so severed ties. So there are, if you can't see this little image that Chad's pulling up here in the screen below me, Tim Walz' family has betrayed him. Yeah. They are all sitting there and standing in front of a Trump flag wearing pro-Trump shirts saying, we're all voting for Trump, not for Kamala or Walz.
Now, it says the family votes for him, but it's pretty much his brothers, sisters, mom, dad, uncles, stuff like that. Like his immediate family, of course, his wife, son, and daughter are all with him, but yeah, everybody else in his family is the Walzes for Trump. And this is kind of similar, but this isn't nearly as much media attention. Is no one's interviewing these guys like they did the Kennedy family after RFK endorsed Trump. And that's very strange, because why on earth would you interview? I mean, I agree that they shouldn't be interviewed, but why on earth are you interviewing the Kennedy's family about his political position endorsing Trump? Why didn't they bring Kennedy on? Mm-hmm. That's the question, is why on earth are you interviewing people who don't matter, who aren't really in the political game, to talk about his political point of view or his betrayal of, if they see his family. Like, I've got the Kennedy, why he switched out right here. I mean, if you want to watch that real quick.
Sure.
All right, let me pull it up. What the world?
Primarily. And these are the principal causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party.
Is it muted?
No. It's just really quiet.
And now to throw my support to President Trump. The causes were free speech, the war in Ukraine, and the war on our children. Three great causes drove me to enter this race in the first place, primarily. And these are the principal causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party and run as an independent. And now
his voice drives me nuts.
Yeah.
President Trump. The causes were free speech.
Free speech.
War in Ukraine.
War in Ukraine.
And the war on our children.
And the war on children.
Three great causes drove
That's why he decided to leave the Democratic Party.
Good reasons.
Causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party and run as an independent. And now to throw my support to President Trump. The causes were free speech, war in Ukraine, and the war on our children.
Those are the three reasons that he left the Democratic Party: was the war in Ukraine, the war on children, and the war on free speech. And that's why he left the Democratic Party, and he's throwing his hat in with Trump.
Yeah, I mean, again, people believe all the lies the media tells about Trump. They tell him that they're coming for their rights, that he's going to take away the free speech, he's going to be an evil dictator. It's like, again, I posted a meme of John Krasinski from The Office, and it says, if Trump was going to do all the evil things the media said he did, or he was going to do, he would have already done them in his first term. And then he has him pointing at the saying at the same line. It's got, if Kamala Harris was going to do all the things she said she was going to do if she was elected president, she would have already done them as the vice president. or at least been trying to put these ideas forward to Joe Biden. So, again, that's the truth of the matter, man. Like this is really not a debate, but again, when the media has such control over people in society right now, I mean, everyone listens to it. You're inundated with anti-Trump rhetoric 24 hours a day. Of course you're going to think he's a bad person. You're only told good things about the Democrats. You're only told lies about gun control. What do you expect? And again, the whole gun control situation, I'm still a firm believer that every teacher, I think every citizen has a civic duty to carry a weapon with them to protect themselves and their families and the people around them. I think every teacher should go to a firearms course. You know, if you want to get more funding to schools, that's a way to do it. You know, have a yearly or biannually firearms course that they got to go through. And again, do you think a kid's going to walk into school and be like, I'm going to blast this place up today if they knew every teacher didn't have to be armed, just the ones that want to do it.
Thought of every
it's like,
teacher possibly possessing a firearm.
Mr. Jones down the hallway, he's the type of guy that probably would carry a gun. He's probably ex-Army or something like that. It's like, I'm not going to go to school and do that. They'll have to find new locations to start doing this kind of stuff at, because they know that if they thought that every teacher in every classroom could be a target or could be armed, they would not attack a school. Now, they would know which teachers to target, and it's going to be funny, too, because the only room, if they go and attack schools and schools get shot up, you know which classes are going to get targeted? The ones that have trans and LGBTQ flags, because they know that those teachers won't do a thing about it. And then nobody will want to have their child in those classes. Hey, you shouldn't want to have your child in a class with somebody who has LGBTQ flags and BLM flags and things like that flying in there anyway, because they're probably Marxist, communist, crazy people. But they'll know that, well, this guy or this girl with all these pride flags hanging up, she definitely doesn't carry a gun. Mm-hmm. So I would like my kid transferred to Miss So-and-so down the hall, because she looks like a everyday American who understands how to handle a firearm and probably keeps one with her at all times. Boom. Mm-hmm. So that's the truth of the matter, in my opinion.
Yep.
But that's just my theory.
Yep.
A game theory.
But if we want to end it off on more of a funny note, here is people being interviewed at the DNC being asked why they support Kamala Harris, and they can't answer.
All right. Yeah. Hit it up. This is how we'll end it.
Harris's biggest accomplishment to date as vice president?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore.
She was a very good vice president.
That's an interesting question. Getting to vice president.
I have to do more research on her, honestly. I'm just glad to see a woman of color in charge for once. That's it.
A woman
I haven't followed her political career that closely.
That's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
What is Harris's biggest accomplishment to date as vice president?
Oh my gosh. These people have no clue why they're voting for her. They just know it's time.
Yeah, again, this is it. Nobody's running she's not running any policies. She's not running on any accolades. She's just the candidate running to stop Donald Trump, despite the fact that she's the candidate that's in power. They said they don't have policies, they don't have positions, they just have, we're not Trump. That is the Democratic platform right now. We are not Trump.
Yeah,
and then people are like, yeah, Trump will do anything you say. Vote blue, no matter who. As long as they're not Trump.
Yeah, as long as they're not Trump is the only, that their platform literally is the exact same as Biden's was in 2020. If
you don't know if you're for me or for Trump, then you ain't black.
Mm-hmm. That's literally all this is. That's why they're running on the DEI thing. I mean, that's the only thing that they could say. I'd vote because it's time, because she's black, she's a woman. You know, it's time. Like, no, it's not. That's what they said. The exact same thing they said in 2016 when it was Hillary.
Yep.
It was not time. It's still not time.
Yep. But yeah, that's about all we got for you today. We just want to kind of ended it with that because, again, why are you voting for her? You need to evaluate why. What purpose?
Yeah. Her policy positions, not, I mean, her policy positions are literally turning into build a wall, No tax on tips, and what was the?
She's stealing Trump's positions.
All Trump's positions. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But that's all we got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. That's about all I've got to you today. We're signing off. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.